Good morning, students. Nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is the technique which is used in organic structure determination. It is used to study the variety of nuclei, including proton, carbon 13, nitrogen 15, fluorine 19, and phosphorus 31. Now, if you observe carefully this list, you will notice that some of the common nuclei like oxygen, sulfur, or carbon 12, they are not included in this list. What is the reason why they have not included in this list? The reason is that all the nuclei are not able to show the nuclear magnetic resonance. For showing this technique, nuclei must possess some special property. What is that special property? Many of the atomic nuclei have a property called as spin. Any atomic nucleus that has either odd mass or odd atomic number or both are odd has a quantized spin angular momentum and a magnetic moment, and such a nucleus will show the spin or it will possess the spin. For each nucleus with spin, the number of allowed spin state it may adopt is quantized and it is determined by its nuclear spin quantum number I. So what is this? Number of allowed spin states means what? The nucleus can have different ways of spinning or different states of spin motion, and how many spin motions are associated with that nucleus can be determined by the nuclear spin quantum number I. This can be obtained by using a formula 2I plus 1. Any nucleus having spin quantum number I will have 2I plus 1 allowed spin states. These I values are integral values from plus I to minus I. That is, certain values of I are used in this case. That's why it is called as quantized. Quantized means certain or definite. The spin orientations are certain or definite. Look at this table where different nuclei are there. There's nuclear spin quantum numbers are there and number of spin orientations or spin states possible for these nuclei are mentioned here. Proton, whose spin quantum number is half, has the number of spin states 2, which are obtained using the formula 2I plus 1. Then deuterium, its higher isotope, has spin quantum number 1. Its number of spin states, allowed spin state is 3. Likewise, carbon 13 is also having spin quantum number half. Its spin states are 2. More nuclei are included in this case, like nitrogen 14, nitrogen 15, nitrogen fluorine, phosphorus 31. But now we'll see this nucleus, carbon 12, oxygen 16, and sulfur 32. All the three nuclei have their spin quantum numbers 0. So they possess the number of allowed spin states only 1. That is, they have only one way of spinning or spin motion. Therefore, these nuclei are not able to show the nuclear magnetic resonance. Consider this image comparison between a conventional magnet and this spinning nucleus. Now these two things are compared together. What is the reason why they have been compared together? This is a magnet. It shows magnetic properties, means what? It has a magnetic field. The magnetic moments works in a certain direction. It has a north pole, it has a south pole. These are the properties by which a magnet can be characterized. Now why this proton or why this nucleus is compared with the magnet? This is because this is a spinning nucleus, that is, it is in a motion and it has a charged. So any charged particle, if it is in motion, it will generate a magnetic field. That is, it is a magnet. So our nucleus For instance, we'll consider this as a proton nucleus. Proton is positively charged and it is spinning, therefore it is showing magnetic properties or it is behaving like a magnet. Exactly, its behavior is similar to the conventional magnet. Therefore, this property is used to develop the nuclear magnetic resonance technique. A nucleus with an odd atomic number or an odd mass number has a nuclear spin. The spinning charge nucleus generates a magnetic field. That is what we have seen in last slide. Now these three images are there, in which first one is the spinning proton, which is generating a magnetic field. Second one is a electric current generated, which is made up of from electric component as well as magnetic component. And in this case, the magnetic component of electric current is considered. And this is the third figure, which is the magnet, which is generating a magnetic field, and the magnetic force lines are shown in all the three cases here. Magnetic force, the arrows show the direction of magnetic forces working at different places. Now if you compare these three things together, you will notice that the magnetic force for all the three is same. That is, it is working in opposite direction at outer parts of this magnetic field in all the three cases. This means that the spinning nucleus magnetic field, the magnetic field of electric current, and the magnetic field of a conventional nuclear magnet is same. Therefore, they are compared together. That is, their behavior is very similar. Now, once this magnet is placed in contact with another strong magnet, different things can happen with that magnet. Let us consider this as a very strong external magnet, and this is a very small tiny bar magnet. Once these two magnets come together, two things happen with these two magnets. Either the two opposite poles of these magnets come together, or two similar poles of these magnets come together. When the opposite poles come together, there is an attraction between the two magnets. Therefore, there is a lowering of the energy. And if the two magnets are attracted by one another, it becomes stable orientation. And the second thing is that when similar poles come together, there is a repulsion. There is increase in energy. Energy increases and the system becomes less stable. So these are the two things that can happen when two magnets are brought together. Now in the NMR technique, this bar magnet means our nuclear magnet, which is placed in contact with the external magnet. And exactly, now imagine that this is your nuclear magnet. A single proton is there. There will be attraction and there can be repulsion between the two nuclei.